Hello everybody, it's this week at MBE. It is Labor Day weekend, and of course typically we were doing manifolds through September, but we got busy, so we had to go back on to doing cylinder heads. So we had both machines running cylinder heads all week. Also we were doing finishing up some of the new valley tray stuff for the A460s to go with the billet manifold or cast, if you would like the cast one, depending on your rules. But so let's go through some of that. We've got billet cylinder heads sitting here. So we got billet Fords and billet Chevys. So when we designed all of this, we actually built the ports, and then we built the head around the ports. So it might surprise you, but the Chevy and the Ford they're almost the exact same programs in the Chevy and the Ford. Okay, so both symmetrical cylinder heads. We do this in a power adder version and normally aspirated version. We have a lot of versions for this, just like we do with pretty much all our products. 500 CFM, a real number, and the exhaust over 300, but they're a nice piece. You got all the extra fasteners. We got a version here this one has built-in spring oilers in it. So this has built-in spring oilers into the cylinder head, the Ford does. So we have that if the customers want it. This is Australian Pro Stock right here, so they will definitely need it. Australian Pro Stock, 400 cubic inches. I would say probably 10,600 RPM, somewhere in that area right there. So pretty serious stuff. And you got something that'll make around 3 horsepower per cubic inch, about 400 horsepower. And then we got, we're doing some private label cylinder heads for Frank Beck at Beck Racing Engines. So he'll have these engines on the shelf, so any of you guys want an MBE Big 9 package with complete engines sitting on the shelf, you can call Frank Beck at Beck Racing Engines. He's out west. And this is a version that he wanted, so we changed some things. And he's a meticulous guy and an exceptional engine builder, so that's what we're doing here for him.
He's also got 18 max flows too.
Yeah, we're doing a max pull version for Frank also, and he's going to have those engines on the shelf too. So you can just go in there and purchase one. You don't have to wait or build your own if you don't have the time, as many of us work too many hours. And we'll come in here. So this has kind of been an ongoing process, but we all got together, and then Joey created a really nice piece here. So this is for the valley tray. Got the pieces made here for the A460 billet intake. So we have that, and you can see very light because it's billet. So some applications it doesn't matter, but some it does. And then so we made these plates, and the valley tray is going to sit in here. And this plate, Joey made this. Look at this. It's a pretty nice piece. And then all of this is O-ring. So we don't have to run any silicone, nothing around the water, nothing around the ports. Everything's going to be O-ringed, and then this bolts to the cylinder head, and then the manifold bolts to the plate. So it's a nice, clean piece. I can't begin to tell you how long this takes to do. It's just, it's nothing that just happens overnight. But when it's finished, though, it is going to be very, very nice, and you can see we're almost about there. It's pretty cool now. And then we got. Of course, we can do this in many, many different deck heights for the A460 guys. We got some spec stuff we're doing for Anthony DeSoma, so we're finishing up the manifold on that. The heads are just about finished. We're getting a couple days in those. These aren't cheaters. These will be legal. We do some of these. I really don't like doing them, but if DeSoma wants them, then we do them. That's kind of what it comes down to there. Another one of John at CID's intake manifold that fits our billet Ford head. So this thing, we're finishing that up after we get done because we have to weld on it. We have to do a lot of work to make it fit our cylinder heads. So when it's finished, then we'll go back and we'll steel shot the manifold, and it'll look like all of this will be cleaned up, and it'll look really, really nice. Look like as cast. We got Big 9s over here. So these are normally aspirated versions right here. So these are for an endurance application of all things. This is an endurance application, Big 9. The reason why the Big 9 works well in endurance applications is because of the valve train. Because this is a one-piece bar, the half-inch push rods, a Big Chief head will actually work on an endurance application. I shouldn't say, a Big 9 will. The other ones won't, only the Big 9 will. We got A460s here. We got an update right here. This is a 11-degree Big Chief, so we're updating these for the gentleman. I think these are Big Chiefs. Nope. These are an old set of Brodexes, so we're updating those. So that's not a big deal there. And then we'll come to here. Another Big 9 right there. This has with the O-rings. So the exhaust O-rings. So we supply the the high heat, the orange O-rings for that. And then this is kind of cool. This is a set of heads that I worked on 23 years ago. This is an SB2 from Joe Gibbs. When I worked there, like I said, 24 years ago. Right before I started doing this, we started the business. This is an old set. You can see somebody's went in here and had to do some welding and things like that. I mean, judging by the seats, they've probably been valve jobbed 250 times. But it's kind of cool to see something that you worked on 24 years ago that comes in the shop and it's still running. So kind of cool. That's just a half chance thing that happened there. So, but a lot of success with that. We won a cup championship with that with Bobby Labonte, and of course Tony Stewart did winning. Did all kinds of winning. For him there. But that was a lot of fun. I'd say me and Norman and Rex. Came up with all this stuff. We worked together on it at Joe Gibbs, and we had a really good time. And the cool part is we had a lot of success. And then, but that's about all we got at this week at MBE. Everybody, be safe at the races. We know everybody's racing this weekend, one of the biggest racing weekends of the year. But more importantly, just everybody be safe. And of course, hoping that our MBE customers and our friends win the races. But more importantly, that our MBE customers win the races. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.